right, so we want to be able to take a fraction and convert it to a decimal. The main thing, if we look at an example, the main thing when you see fractions and this fraction bar, I want you to think of the fraction bar means divide by. And you guys were running into that on those equations too, the division in them. Because in algebra now, we don't see the division sign anymore, right? That fraction bar is actually more of our division that we use. So when we read a fraction, it really is a division problem. So this is saying 1 divided by 4. The numerator divided by, so we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. Alright, so if we set it up, we're going to set up like a long division here. So it's the numerator, the 1, divided by 4. Numerator divided by the denominator. Does anybody have a way of remembering maybe any tricks you've learned in the past? How we set that up, Avery? Okay, so the 1 on the bottom always stays outside. Any other way or anything else you've ever heard? Maybe a teacher in the past maybe said the 1 on top falls in or falls off. Okay, so that might be a way to think of it too. All right, so once we set this up, we want to place our decimal after the 1, and then we're going to have to add some zeros. And it's important to keep it lined up. You're also going to bring your decimal up here and place your decimal. And then we can do our long division here. Does 4 go into 1? No. But we can go to the next one here. Does 4 go into 10? 2 times. Multiply. 2 times 4. Bring that down. Yep, subtract. Bring down our 0. And 4 go into 20. 5 times. And you want to keep going until you get that remainder of 0. Alright, when we get that remainder of 0, this is an example of a decimal that terminates. Right? Decimal terminates, it stops, we're all done. So we can say 1/4 as a decimal is the same, and if you want to put that 0 for your 1's place there, same as 25 hundredths. We already knew that fraction, right? But I kind of wanted to use an easy example so that you can see how that works. Tommy? Are you already working on another one? All right, let's do another example. Because that's what we're going to take a look at too, some that end up repeating. Which one did you want to do, Tommy? 1/3. All right, let's try 1/3. Okay, so we'll set it up. The top number falls into the box, right? 1 divided by 3. Numerator divided by the denominator. Place your decimal, add your zeros. And then also line up your decimal there. Alright, does 3 go into 1? No. So now we're in this place value here. Does 3 go into 10? 3 times. Okay, 3 times 3. Bring that down. Get our 1. That doesn't go in, so we have to bring down a 0. 3 goes into 10. 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Bring down a 1. We're going to have to keep adding zeros here. 3 goes into 10. So at this point, we can kind of see what's going to keep happening. We could do this problem all day, right? Because we're going to constantly get that 10 down there, and 3 will go in 3 times. So what's happening, Brody?
It's
What's that called?
it is repeating.
It's a repeating decimal. So when you take a fraction and convert it to a decimal, it's either going to terminate or it's going to repeat. Okay, and you have to continue on until you get 0. Are we ever going to get a 0 remainder? No. What's wrong, Tommy? Oh, okay. Well, let's finish this up. When you notice the pattern going on, I could also just write this, 0.3. You could do the dot, 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 or we could also put the repeating bar above it. Okay. What are some other repeating ones that you know? 2/3. You were going to say 2/3. You're going to run into these as you do the problems, though. Okay. I'll give you another example of
1/6.
1/6 is a repeating. Yep. There are actually patterns involved with the fractions that repeat. We'll talk about that too a little bit more. All right, you guys want to try one more? We gotta throw a mixed number at you here. Okay, we want to make it an improper fraction first because we want to have a numerator divided by the denominator, right? You guys remember how to take this and make it into an improper?
Yep.
What do we have to do? 8 times 2, and then you add 1. So that's 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 1 more, 17/8. And we can still do our division. Numerator divided by the denominator. The top falls into the box here. Okay, and because we're going to run into some decimals, we can still place our decimal after the 17, add some zeros. Place your decimal up above. It's important to keep our work neat on these. You already have the answer over there. All right, well, what did you do first here? 8 goes in 2 times. So that's 16. Got the 0 down. Yeah, so it goes in ones. 8 goes into 10 ones. 8 times 1 8. We get 20. So now we have to see 8 goes into 20 2 times. We're getting there. This might be a longer one. And then 20 minus 16. 4. Bring down our 0. There's a number. It'll go in exactly, right? 5. So 5 times 8. Now we get our remainder of 0. So once you get that remainder of 0, you know you're done. Ready?
What if you put 0.2125? Would that still be right or wrong?
Right. We want our whole number in front. So it'd be 2.125 as our decimal. Okay? And think about it too, when it was a mixed number, your whole number is 2 and 1/8. So now we just have 2 and then the decimal there, okay? What would just 1/8 be as a decimal? 8. Yep. That's your fraction part there. The whole number really kind of stays the same. That's a way to think about it. Okay? All right, I'm going to give you guys one more to try on your own. Come around and see how you're doing on that.